Koki the K.
Tashidele Geshila Ken.
Tashidele, everyone.
Tashidele. Can Kishila hear us? Ken.
It's not got echo, so sorry.
Yeah, I need to hear that.
I need to end it. Okay, so we do prostration. Namo Manju Asu Shi Namo Dama Ji Do Ha Namo Manju Shi Namo Zo Ji Namo Dama Ji So Ha Namo Manju Shi Namo Zo Ji Namo Dama Ji So Ha 觉当主给说那来将就把多当地教书记，大给去年级别从那给做了并且上给做吧说，觉当主给说那来将就把多当地教书记，大给去年级别从那给做了并且上给做吧说。 觉当这个就拿来将就把都当地教书记，大给去年给别从那给做了并且上给做吧说，也别给就是没做账，你让领袖你的看把的，上给心都没得无话语，都给那大心那就吧说，一旦不如让那没得了干的呀大呀的。
아마 동아지나 있을 때다. 다음에 진대 만나 시간이 좀 자다니 마마시 진짜 다시 던지면 잡아. 진짜 받아. 여완도 장문도 뭐 지금 동행 뭐 힘이 되게 끼지 잡는 전제 좀 만드는 비슷한 건 되는 점만 되는 거 주지 되는 거다. 그래서 대다시니 뭐가만 시지도 없음. 그렇죠.
Please sit in 7 meditative postures of Vairocana and think, all sentient beings have been my mothers, and all sentient beings have been my mothers for numberless times. They are as kind as my mother in this life. Even though all kind mother sentient beings want happiness and do not want even a small suffering, however, due to engaging wrongly in objects of adoptions and abandonment, they experience only suffering. In our minds, sincerely generate loving kindness towards all kind mother sentient beings, thinking, how nice it would be if all kind mother sentient beings had excellent happiness. May all kind mother sentient beings have excellent happiness. I will cause all kind mother sentient beings to experience excellent happiness. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so.
But the one night, the Jay Mandana Legion, and San Juanshi never lost the Legion with TV Chu, Tada, Draw Chichu, Draw Dagasha, what did I say? Lama, she did.
Next, we generate compassion towards all suffering mother sentient beings by thinking, how nice it would be if the body of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue, such as pain, sickness, and problems caused by four elements. May all suffering mother sentient beings be free from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the body of all suffering mother sentient beings from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so.
This is the one night, the Jay Mandana 以前去这里东北的弄到茶厂里，把他的这个这么找继续找大概上这个心里把那么的心里。
How nice it would be if the minds of all suffering mothers sentient beings were free from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue, such as fear and coarse and subtle conceptual thoughts. May the minds of all suffering mothers sentient beings be free from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the minds of all suffering mothers sentient beings from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so.
那的确是东莞这个，的确是蛮紧的是，我个经常是蛮紧的，我查了，他真的这么找我继续找我大概上这个心里边那么的心情嘛，都是这样。
How nice it would be if the speech of all suffering mothers sentient beings were free from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. Negative speech such as telling lies and saying harsh words. May the speech of all suffering mothers sentient beings be free from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the speech of all suffering mothers sentient beings from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so.
这的确是东莞的，今天你在过生节给小孩读个那么特别穷，他真的这么找我继续找我大概上我对他心里那么的心里面都是没。
In brief, how nice it would be if the three doors of all suffering mothers sentient beings were free from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. May the three doors of all suffering mothers sentient beings be free from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. I'll free the three doors of all suffering mothers sentient beings from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so.
第一件是生节，他去东北的东西就到这了，这么找继续找大概上我对他心里那么的心情嘛都是我都是上头的。
How nice it would be if all mother sentient beings were free from suffering and its cause. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its cause. Or free all mother sentient beings from the suffering and its cause. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so.
他第一件是东莞的呢，生节对他情况的呢，是不东莞的对，也是那不是能给年上了，我觉得今年个是养大了都上去就恐怕能给你把的是来有什么养大了都上去了也不生节，他就觉得上去就恐怕能过去，今年就他把想强去生活就是。
Next, we generate bodhicitta by asking ourselves, who should take on the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and of lower realms? I should take on the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and lower realms. However, I do not have the ability to do so now. Who has the ability to do so? Only those who have achieved the perfect complete enlightenment have the ability to do so. Therefore, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, by all means, I will achieve the state of enlightenment.
그 뒤에 이제 통지도 소식 고바도 보셔. 너는 세고자 같은 한국이가 다 이주고 그 넘바 진도 최도 이런 이제 모두 동반 정세 로지로지 대단한 자리세도 한국이가 다 이제 도제가 세가도 넘바 진도 최소 사토스도 보셨습니다. 저는 육세지.
Next, we generate all-encompassing yoga mind. The conventional aspiring bodhicitta that thinks, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. These transform into a complete white mundis at one's heart. And the ultimate bodhicitta, that is one's mind becoming in one taste with emptiness, the lack of inherent existence, that transform into a white five-pronged vajra on top of the mundis.
그 뒤에 이제 다 보고들 유튜브 지대 다대 건데요. 뭐 그거 유튜브 또 사건반에 주시는 거죠.
Next, we meditate on emptiness for a short while, that I exist, neither inherently one with, nor inherently different from the aggregates. Thus, I do not exist inherently.
그 이제 나지 답하시려 그 계정 컨디션은 사실 두 개는 이제 센터 거지. 아담도 와서 내사고서 주진이 내사고서 집에 가서 내 간다 신비 파시는 안에 있어야 신바세인데 돈이 생바세 돈이 생바세 신비 오리 대선상 내사고서 집에 가서 내 고서 이제 게이츠가 관리 상에 연아야 다들 해선지 용에다 받쳐 있거든 이 진중한 줄 봐. 뭐 쇼사 되게 체리스 리턴스에 붙이도 보이나 내사고서 집에 가서 계좌대 신 파시는 안에 있으니 그래서
As I always mention, it is important to conjoin our virtue with the practice of six perfection. So the first perfection, the practice of the first perfection is generosity, and generosity is in the nature of minds of giving. Its nature is the mind of giving. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, whatever roots of virtue that I accumulate through my 3 doors, I dedicate these as the cause for pacifying sentient beings' sufferings and for achieving the happiness for sentient beings.
디지털 수리지 파신 안에 심발하다 수리서는 와서 데리에 간다 온심바 온심바 수리 다 내사고서 집이 가서 다 니쟁은 밖에도 주스나디 수리 야고 쳐 봐. 다 니쟁은 밖에서 리마고 니쟁은 밖에 쓰기도 보니 그도 간다 뭐지가 온세팅 을 주도 봐이나 다 뒤에 가서 배제 사야게 간다 수리지 파신 안에 심발해서
Next is morality, and its nature is the mind of abandoning. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, I will properly abandon my physical and verbal negativities so that they do not manifest.
다 뒤에서 와서 세비 파신 안에 심발 다 세바세도 못주고 세바 못해서 되는 다 간다 뒤에 다 가서 내사고서 집이 가서 다 리세는 강에 가리지 충분히 땅이 당도 된데 같이 되면 사고서 제바데 비타보지야 당 리니 사트리베 상호질에 두바이나 이 가다 수비 빠진 안에서 그래서
Next is patience, and its nature is the mind, is an undisturbed mind. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, whatever physical or mental hardship occur, I will willingly accept it. I will be patient with it.
다 뒤에서 와서 전지 빠진 안에서 전지 와서 give on a choice in the Zinchu or one. That was a Nesa was a Jepal Hajabe said Gawata Toachini. They give out to the Sinji tension, I should say, he is a biggest thing about Toach Chebaina. That's the question on this place.
Next is joyous effort. Joyous effort is a mind that takes delight in virtue. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, I would take delight in accomplishing virtue and working, and in the virtue of working for the welfare of others.
That was a huge question on a symbol. Here was a chair of Namjilos in Rua. That was a Jedan, Nesa was a Chebaina, or something, say gave me about curricula, take it nearby the Sandishan bush. That Nesa was a cheap because it was a state Nesa was a cheap because he showered de la Pasedia, near to Bachi. That said that here, none of the 9 or the Pamandua. Shoot, Nesa was a dealer, said the opportunity near to Vaina. That Nesa was a cheap because I did this on the yes.
Next is meditative concentration. It is a mind that single-pointedly focus on any of the virtuous object. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, I will properly focus my mind on the virtuous object, intended virtuous object, and I will guard my mind against the distractions and conceptual thoughts.
That huge question on this symbol. That heroes were the children of Namji loss. That was a Nesa was a Chebaina. That Pio love Chimbo. That got a Tabata Tanji about to add Central in a DG piece of the Banjuan, the big Pio, Shimbachi. Yeah, Kanda Nesa was a Majibaina. That just was a Majiba Chibarwa, Majibaina, Nemo Chata on the Pandonite, Kualian, and the Chiavi Lang Mambo, Sani, the big name of Shimbiton. Any language Cheban Shimbiton, the Gatojing as a Jishi ticket, Sidan Leva, Yabuji Shimbaina. That way, it's a take us some of the huge question on this.
Next is wisdom. Wisdom is an awareness that thoroughly distinguishes phenomena. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, in general, I understand the benefits of doing so, such as one will be able to achieve the state of liberation and the state of enlightenment. And I also understand the faults of not doing so. If I do not engage in listening to Dharma, contemplation, and meditation on Dharma, when my affliction arises, I will accumulate karma that causes me to take rebirth in lower realms. In particular, I will try my best to understand the words and meanings of the teachings.
But teachers and also here, Tanji did the Sanji Kubato, the Chedo, that Chandu Langi chicken knowledge, this angel of Pemba to issues.
Set a good motivation. For the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. For this purpose, I'm going to receive the commentary on the holy teachings, Lamrim, and practice accordingly in order to benefit sentient beings.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Tan Lamsa Koran, George Kiatan, George Kian, Chanchu Lari Sevada, Read Lari the Manzo chicken, Zinda Tamare, Nanjing eater Mamushizare, Cham Sevada, Chu Sevada, Lari Seva Desaway, Number Cham Sevade, Karating Whereas Tendara watch. Chu Sevadi Tendakara, with Tambu Tinigi, that one of which not to us on chance. Cham Seva Digitanda. Numan should say choose what digitanda, Chita, non receive a digitandach. It was on which that's like unity Larushiswa.
Since today is the last class of the year, so I would like to start the class with a question. So the subject is Jiangchup Lamrim, right? Stages of the path to the state to enlightenment. So in Tibetan is Jiangchup Lamrim. So I have 3 questions to you. My first question is, what is the meaning of Jiang? The second question is, what is the meaning of Chup? And the third question is, what is the meaning of Lamrim? So anyone, I'll say you have the answer, then you can unmute yourself.
인지도 참새 여버려.
Jiang.
Jiang
Jiangchu이나 카투디 enlightenment
I can try, Gishla.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so Chang means object of abandonment, to abandon the negativities, and Chuk means object of realizations, of adoption, and Lamrim means stages the path of enlightenment.
So Jiang said the kasa pangja de pamba punchoro ini de pangja de segidu ini de chup said na de topja segidu sa topja de segidu ini de yang lamrim said ini de yang lamgi jimbaro
도시 탓. 아따단 디스스로.
pamba punchoro
땡큐. 대가리다 상대와 대가리 bomba 타도 들어와. 드니 커트바 드니 바샤다 제바 bombi. bomba 타도 원이 들어와. 다 정된다 대가리 로스 들어와. 다 추세와 되면서 드니 바샤다 제바 bombi 또 바타도 이시추고. 또 바타도 이시추고 대가리 레스 해야 돼. 레스.
또 바래로
또 바타도. 다 라리스와 되면서 bomba 타도 또 바타도 대 토지지 타. 다 란지림 바데. 맞아 나지 제부스인데 나지림 바. it's the national pajitu the deal with the labas the deal with lam tahini that tahini the maso walk to show it change the jiga level wa
lam tahini
so I will thank you.
Yeah, so well said, thank you. So yeah, as you mentioned, so Jiang, how to say in Tibetan, if we translate this word Jiang itself, then it will be like purification. So it refers to the ultimate abandonment. So ultimate abandonment of two obscurations together with the imprints. And Chup Chup itself has the meaning of realization or achievement. So it refers to the ultimate realizations. So Lamrim is the stages of the path. So stages of the path refers to the method to achieve these two ultimate, the ultimate abandonment and also the ultimate realizations or perfect abandonment or perfect realizations. So the method then can be the method aspect, the method to achieve it, right? So the method then also refers to the path. Then path itself has two aspects. One is the method aspect, another one is the wisdom aspect. 합식이 탑대인이 람라세기로 하시라. 탑대인이
남들이 뭐 상주 나리스와데 나리스와다 bomba 펜소다 bomba 펜소 대리 타투니 토지지 탑대 나 나리스 다 나리스 제월 때 제무슨 나지리 바딜라 다 제무슨 나지리 바 스디우디 지서 파시투네 남들라스자 파시투데 스디우디 라바소나스 알라바스데 스디우디 남타시니스와 남타시니 하다 히름니 다 타시니데 스디우디 나쇼스 때 상지시고 발리시오데 다 오늘도 렌지지 데 시들에다 로지가 있죠 다
동이도베
렌지지 데 시들와
렌기 기부숨기 좀 봐라.
네, 다 저것도 딩 자단.
기부숨 남기 좀 봐대. 진 소파진 조라 대자 대뒤 네 라바숨 라뒤 네 람타신이 라뒤 네 디앙나기 보네. 네 가서 동이도베 생기기 대위시. Yeah. So regarding these stages of the path of three scopes of beings, these can be condensed into 6 perfections, such as the perfections of generosity. And these 6 perfections can be further condensed into 3 trainings. And these 3 trainings can be further condensed into the 2 aspects of the path, the method aspect and also the wisdom aspect. And these 2 aspects of the path can be further condensed into the wisdom of bliss wisdom, spontaneous wisdom of bliss, realizing emptiness in the context of Tantra.
我也知道大家面的大胆比较多，要的是，你那他他妈的也南京啊，这也马基本南京长久浪的节目讲过有是的，长久是浪的是要考虑是你啊，没给主要是当时那样的了，联系说是去马不完那样的家生活也是吧，就是的新嘛是什么现象都是吧。
Yeah, so what Jaya has mentioned is correct. So the meaning is there. So we must not forget the meaning of this title. So what is the meaning of Chang? What is the meaning of Chup? What is the meaning of Lamrim? So the purifications, actualizations, and also stages of the path. So since we are studying Changchup Lamrim, then in case if anyone asks what is the meaning of Changchup Lamrim, then we must make sure that we are able to answer to those questions.
我也老是打的嘛，主要因为说，下学期的这个样子唱的嘛，年纪是吧？
Just to continue, Bodhisattva, the misdeeds in the Bodhisattva vows, the 40, not the Shikjura.
记得吧？那明朝我在学习两个时候，没就比年纪是的弄多。
Number 40, the misdeeds of not relieving the grief of others.
那等到的年年的龙记的去把找完了，那两个情况呢，那得了看到吧，得了些，先说马去把它，两个的把谁话马去把伊呢，你来讲的就把马去把伊呢，这年纪的情况也是得很多。
So regarding these misdeeds of not relieving the grief of others, so when others experience grief of separating from their resources or separating from their wealth, then if you do not comfort them by saying words that are pleasant to hear, or if you do not remove their grief, then this misdeed occur.
他刚才也老晓得了，偏僻性就跟着他的，这刚才你比这个先说当我是引进两个说话，学不的些，而现在这边呢，他看不着过来没学过说话，那不他龙久了是吧？他那边看他确实学着玩着回去，是吧？我在等的准备呢，他或者把先说进来把那些这个也是他这里是看到了吧？对的。
Yeah, so to avoid creating or incurring this misdeed, so when others experience grief, then you should, when they experience grief, like for example, when their house is burned down, or when they lost their wealth or possessions or resources, then what we should do is we should comfort them by saying words that are pleasant to hear, and then we must give advice to them.
但是基本的看到弄得把了，人把没去比年纪是没得的人多啊。
Number 41, misdeeds of refusing charity to the needy.
他等到的了，谁到公园弄起了，得到了，没得了年纪是，他看到得到了，弄得不得了，被他刚刚特别个了，当俺说得了，只能俺说搞下的股吧，就是到路的，俺说弄得吧，来看到，他弄弄这边偏不住吧伊呢。 他搞下的的没把伊呢，马基本呢，他年纪这个也是，真的得了什么东西是吧？
Yeah. So regarding these misdeeds of refusing charity to the needy, so it is a misdeed of not practicing giving to those who are in need, in need of, like for example, food, water, wealth, and resources. So if you do not give those things they need, then this misdeed occur. So it also depends on the situations. Like for example, if there is no reason not to give, like for example, if such as the reason that it is contrary to the teachings or anything, if there is no such reason to reject, then and by giving things to them will benefit them, then you should give. And if not, then this misdeed occurs.
我等的是他刚才老讲的我对了，刚才我跟我不让了有那弄了结果是，他是说了刚有那边弄开去穷白呢，他弄开穷白呢，刚刚就去穷白呢，他是说去穷就没地方，他是说就这个在那边谁那没不去，谁那没比做呢，这个已经把当白呢，但这朋友就去的人哇。
Yeah, so the advice for this is if you have the things they need, you have the resources and everything that the things they need, then and they come and ask for it from you, then you should give without miserliness. Mm. 42, the misdeeds of not taking care of friends, disciples, servants, and etc. So not taking care of friends, disciples, servants, and etc. So in Tibetan, not taking care of friends, disciples, and servants. Those are companions. So not taking care of companions such as friends, disciples, servants, or retinues. So these companions can refers to if you are in a family, then the one who take care of the family, then the one who take the main responsibility to take care of the family, then the surrounding will be the companions or retinues or friends or disciples or sons, for example. Then those are the companions. And if you're talking in the context of a organization, so for example, if there is a boss, then those who are around it then will be the companions or retinues. And in the context of practicing Dharma, then there's like followers, for example, those are companions or Dharma friends, for example. Or in a country, then the one who take the main responsibility to take care of the country, then those surrounding it will be the companions or retinues. So if you do not take care of those companions through providing a Dharma teaching and material gifts to them, then this misdeed will occur. So the advice for this is we should try our best to take care of others by providing Dharma teaching and material gifts to them, regardless of their behavior or attitudes. 43, the misdeeds of not being considerate of the wishes of others. So in other words, not being considerate of the wishes of others. So in other words, is a misdeed of not acting agreeably with others. So if there is no reason to acting disagreeably with others, then such as if it is contrary to the Dharma teachings, then if you do not act agreeably with others, then these become misdeed.
digital also but the scientific canina so digital we chedo the chedanga maina de roba chebres dirindwa no the timba chebres.
So again, this has to depends on depends on the scenario. Like for example, since we say that we have to act agreeably with others, so if others ask us to if others, for example, our friend has the idea of killing fish and asks you to help him. So in this scenario, then we shouldn't act agreeably with others. So we shouldn't act according to his wish. So because it is contrary to the Dharma teachings. So if we do not, in this scenario, if we do not act agreeably with others, misdeed doesn't occur. So if anything other than this, if it is not contrary to the Dharma teachings, and if that actions will bring forth happiness, then we should act agreeably with others or act in accordance with the wishes of others.
Number
44, the misdeeds of not praising others' good qualities. So regarding these misdeeds of not praising others' good qualities, so if we do not praise those holy beings, for example, whose qualities are worthy of praise, then by saying excellent, well done, well said, etc., then this misdeed will occur. So if we do not praise those with good qualities, such as those holy beings who actually bring benefit, who actually bring benefits to others, if we do not praise them, then this misdeed will occur. So if we praise them by saying excellent or well done, for example, to those who are worthy of praise, then we ourselves will accumulate merits. Number 45, the misdeeds of not using force when necessary. And so regarding these misdeeds of not using force when necessary, then if we do not use force when necessary, for example, to those who are suitable to be tamed that way, like for example, by scolding them, by punishing them, or by chasing them away. So if we do not tame or using force when is necessary, this misdeed will occur. Of course, it also depends on scenario.
아마 그거라 제가 체계지 좋은 거 하시는 그래서 어떻게 되지? 이 간다 가자 그 발다시가 제일 있어.
So regarding this, like it also depends on the culture. Like in certain countries, like for example, teachers or teachers, how say they, for the sake of the students or disciples, then they use force such as scolding them, punishing them, or chasing them away. So in some countries, in some countries, this is not commonly practiced. Like for example, it also depends on time as well. Like for example, nowadays, in this modern society, then this punishing or scolding it seems like it's not really encouraged. So it also depends on time. It also depends on the countries, the culture in the countries as well. So in relation to these misdeeds of not using force when necessary, if the teacher sees that it will be beneficial for the students or for the disciples by using force, such as scolding or punishing them, then they should use the forceful method to guide them to the good path. So it's just like those in the history, they are holy beings who use force on they punish them or scold the students or by chasing them away in order to guide them to the good path, and the student eventually achieve the state of arhatship, for example. So it also depends on the tendencies of the students. It also depends on depends on the students or disciples as well. So some had to use the forceful methods on them, and some had to use the gentle methods to them. So it depends on the tendencies and the position of the disciples as well.
사치 진지 시에 바나데 대군의 제신들이 해서 아들이 된다 도도 라제들이도 당어서 사치 진지 시에 바다 코로나 제반이나다 코로나에 단에 삼보쇼라야 그렇지 야부 이유는 다 들으면 제거를 했어 사치 진지 제거를 해서 가자 내가 이나.
Yeah, so if there is nothing contrary to the Dharma teachings, and those disciples or students, for example, are suitable to be taken care by using these forceful methods, then one should apply those methods respectively.
그래서 나리 지된 거만 가담비 계시 보도하게 도서 알아야지도와 간다 한번 그거라 샹비 몰로세 샹비 로바스는 거다 간다 샹비 로바 샹비 로바데 그걸 위쪽 바이나 샹비 로바데 제바이나 다 보고 상부지 자고 말했을 간다 대부분의 배 ran시 쪽가 두어다 배 간다 삼방이 받아 근데 배 두자차로 그랬어 대 샹비 몰로세 그랬어 근데 장애가 말했어 대 샹비 몰로세야 돼 코코라 춘주가를 간 젠디 코라랑 배 라바 나시 진도자이나 대부분이 상담 마셔서 수부게 소라 인가를 수고라 이하나 내가 유그레스 대라 내가 유그레스 그걸로 또 창도라 내가 유그레스 근데 지나 간다 우드 두자샤로 강에 요레스 어디서도 컨텐츠 컨텐츠 왔다야 맞대 담바이나 샴핑 몰로서 샴발로바 해서 그러더라 좀나디 어디 제야 말해서 이 가담 라마티서 우와 나리는 좀 가이슈세요.
So according, so Kadamba Geshe's Potowa says that parents shouldn't take care of their, shouldn't have too much love, shouldn't have too much love for their children. Too much, this is like over, over kind, not the proper kind. So it's love their son too much, love their children too much, or exceedingly. So what does it mean by have too much love or love their children too much? Is like they just fulfill whatever wishes their children have. So even when they are when they are just a kid, then whatever they want, whatever they say, then parents just provide everything they want, everything they need. So
but they are just children. Sometimes they are unable to think how to think reasonably, right? So parents shouldn't love their children too much by providing everything to them or by fulfilling all their wishes. So it also depends. Otherwise, if you do so, even the parents' actions, if parents do like that, it will harm their children. So I mean, they will start to form bad habits, and also their way of thinking will not be a proper one as well. So so the children will not brought up in a good way as well. So it will cause them to become a person with worse bad behavior, or a bad thoughts, or bad way of thinking. With that mentality. So the last one is number 46, the misdeeds of not using miracle powers, threatening activities, and so on. So regarding the misdeeds of not using miracle powers, threatening activities, and so on. So if you have already achieved the miracle power, you have achieved such power, and when you encounter people who are suitable to be tamed or guide to the good path in this way, then you should show your miracle power. Like for example, those who do not have faith in three jewels, or those who do not have faith in karmic cause and effect, and those who do not abide by the vows, who do not keep vows, for example, then you should use your miracle power to those who are suitable for this method. Like for example, you should cause them to generate fear in karmic cause and effect, for example. So if you do not use your miracle power when necessary, this misdeed will occur. Yeah, so even there is a manifestations of wrathful deities, right? So it is necessary when it comes to disciples or students who are suitable to be used, suitable for this kind of method. So it depends on the mental disposition. It also depends on the tendencies of the disciples as well. So the manifestations of wrathful aspect is also to tame them in order to guide them to the good path, or in order to bring them to the Dharma. So if we do not apply, if we do not use a miracle power when it's necessary, then it doesn't serve the purpose of achieving the miracle power.
你是你中老的吧？那地道的话是被小白结果你不多系统的吧？
Yeah, so since those who have already received the Bodhisattva vows, then you should guard or you should guard your vow against these 18 root downfalls and 46 misdeeds. So we are unable to read these 18 root downfalls and 46 misdeeds every day, right? However, if we have time, then we should read the text about these once a while to check whether we have transgressed those vows or not. So and regarding these misdeeds are easier to incur. It is easier for us to incur the misdeed in terms of the Bodhisattva vows. So we must all the time. Yeah, we should all the time apply the 4 opponent powers to purify those faults.
那刚才我是昨天纠结的，你决定了满地比，你这个年把上月了，但是说了，这不认识我了，那你开始就多少钱了？我年把有的是，强制动把些菜鸡了，刚才，这都纠结的，你去协助满一本，你看的年把啥吧？就是现在的被小王年把就完了，但年把，今年强制动把有菜新鲜了，可能年把修清不了我说话，我的，刚才你这人多你。 上这个讲过的，都像那麻将牌呢，呀，你不接了的，但现在你把它肯定些吧的，但甚至历史经历恰当些吧，还讲历史经历恰当特别，就是恰当的还讲新的别，要不经历，但呀，这些没干啥别度假去的，是吧？那那么他们最近的嘛对吧？比现在最近的嘛对吧？台上公司多啊，但谁给老师比具备这现阶段上班嘛行吧？现在就上班嘛行吧？ 这个老师的忙，你对忙不实在的，对的，给老师嘛，干的弄结果呢，心里切的话，就是卡拉萨你那就忙不实在的，卡拉萨委员呢，杜洛克委员呢，是吧？杜洛克呢是过了确定情况呢，确定情况呢，现在这个阶段是过确定的呢，确定不掉的，要不7个以上，第三继续吧，这卡拉萨委员呢，对吧？这东北人呢，对吧？确切的心里切的偏切的。 你那点要不就不会露西，我的确切个你把强到有的，那等你去上了苦苦多的，
And there are faults that are not included in these 46 misdeeds or 18 root downfalls. So even those faults had to be avoided as well. Otherwise, then if one were to incur or create those faults, then the negativities will be heavier. And so the faults that are not included in these 18 root downfalls or 46 misdeeds, such as if one do not take care of the disciples by providing material gifts and dharma teachings, then this is also a misdeed. And if one hold a grudge against someone who has done harm to you, then it is a misdeed. It is a fault as well that is not included in 18 or 46. And if you separate sentient beings into different castes or different groups, and then you attach to a certain group and you generate anger to a certain group, this is also a misdeed. This is also a fault that is not included in this 18 or 46, or even not properly relying on the holy guru, holy Lama, and abandoning listening to the Dharma and contemplation, and those are faults that are not included in this 18 or 46. And when it is very important to when we eat or when we drink or when we do exercise or when we put on wear clothes and etc. It is very important to conjoin these activities with the minds of benefiting others, or with an intention to bring the benefits to others. So if we do not engage in those activities with such intentions of benefiting others, then this will also become a fault.
刚刚的都别说了嘛，这对纠结的，你去协助朋友是吧？你朋友之类， number taba, three number taba, the la conda, hatang and in a Londe watch. Londe watch, yes, one. Three number taba, in a Londe watch. You don't wait, let me show you for one day, let me show you. That's what we show you 20 watch. In the much
Lama 讲述
or let me show you, let me show you, or drop show you 20 watch. You send it to is a really, he did tell me, Juba. But that this was the neighbor who is a Takanda also. Soon, or the number of she's not actually the years at the London teacher with you. Let's go to change to language. Only one, go to change to 20. Let them what they should do, you have the right. What that is mean by the power
So it is also very important to endow with these three aspirations. So the first aspiration is one wish to train in morality of abandoning 18 rude downfalls and 46 misdeeds properly or purely. So one must have, the first aspiration is one must have the wish to train purely in the morality of abandoning 18 rude downfalls and 46 misdeeds. And the second aspiration is one should have the wish to achieve the unsurpassed state of enlightenment. And the third aspiration is one should have the wish to work. So one should have the wish to strive for the welfare of others. Yeah. So these three aspirations are necessary.
당연히 장기분들 동반에 실제 간다 필전에 간다 필 쉽지어에서 필도 뒤쉬어와 필에서 간다 다 장기 동반서 필가 야부 있어도 와이나 다 간다 수요로 예전로세 냐야로 다 간다 인들이라 휴자로 다 간다 제시는 벨레가 tel라 사부 들이와 니기질라페 대와이나다 다 수요노지 초대 대라도 간다 주마셔봐야 필로 간다 전화 소리 예열에 근데 상식이 동바서와 내가 지금 저거야 다 소속에 뒤지는 나집에 미식이 니 취책이 있었대 공수는 취 마지막이나 전주스도 동바에서나 기와대 패는 거에서 간다 다 공수는 제가 텔레패는 거와 어때 전주스도 동바에서나 간다 공수는 취 마지막 니 코데나 동바디야 패는 거 예자 패는 거 예자 패는 거에서
Yeah, so it is also very important to understand the benefits of guarding the bodhisattva vows as well. And the benefits that one will receive, it will be unbelievable or immeasurable. So even when we walk, so those who have received bodhisattva vows and keep those vows properly. So even when they walk, even when they are walking, or even they are sitting, or even when they are lying down, or even when they are engaging in worldly activities, or even so whatever daily activities they engage in. So even though they do not intentionally engage in Dhamma activities, they will accumulate the collections of merits easily. So even though they do not intentionally engage in Dhamma activities, so like when they are walking, or when they are sitting down, or when they are lying, so even they engage in those normal activities, they will accumulate the collections of merit easily. So of course, if you engage in those Dhamma activities intentionally, then of course the benefits and the merits that you will receive will be even more. Yeah. So if you got the benefits of guarding bodhisattva vows is one will become endowed with the powers to easily accomplish the welfare of sentient beings who are equal, whose number is equal to the extent of sky. And one will also easily obtain the treasure of concentrations of miracle power and clairvoyant supernatural powers.
That on the things give out and you want to want to have you but you look at the buy out to go. You want to have
중앙아 때야 나바 대가리.
that you want to have that 2022 so but it's so too much. That on the good money you should do.
That's all.
That on the sinji you like the change go yo. That sinji go like shambada. That's the go so good ya. Good ya big 공부쇼라 우리에서 그러와 미sel하게 대화 대화다 대화가 쳐 뒤따로 대화를 주마치 다 주주 소마 이쪽가 뒤진거 한다 이거저거 보내치고 미국에서
So other benefits will be like other sentient beings will have affections to you. They will have love towards you, affections or love towards you, and they respect you. And your body and your mind will be pervaded by bliss, and as you feel happy all the time, and you one will be guarded all the time by the directional protectors and by protectors as well.
that myself that's what as a cover they were in this is a test to be 대화 얘네 쳐봐 이거 그렇게 방법 이거 그 라마한테 라마한테 대화 당에 관리 속에 있는 그 사람을 한다 이게 우리에서 와 그때 한번 보다가 아니 때 공사를 따져들라 대바이나 라마한테 봐 준다 그거라 이게 우리 대화라 이게 우리
한바 검사대.
한번 공사 아니 때 그냥 따져들라 그래서 문바질라 그거 참지 그거 잡아고 대바이나 그 문바질라 라마 편바마지 신나 좀 쉬지 비치는 거에서
And besides those benefits mentioned, then how say wherever you go, or wherever you go, then that place will be filled with auspiciousness and goodness and also happiness. And whatever, what kinds of situations that you are in, whether it is a good situation or a bad situation, so whatever situations or environment that you are in, then you will experience happiness as well. You will experience happiness as well. So just like the benefit of cultivating bodhicitta, loving kindness, then not only oneself, the meditator will experience happiness, will receive the benefit. Even in that country itself, the other people in that country will experience the benefits and happiness as well.
다른데 정리 공부를 튼튼히 하고 싶으면이나 내가 간다고 다투기 뭐가 다투기 배경이나 간다 수준지 파시 용어도 수준지 파시 용어도 봐 그런지 좀 같아 그래서 우리에서 뭐가 생기 수준지 파시 용어 수준지 파시 용어도 봐 수준지 파시 용어도 그런지 좀 봐. 봐 어디 다투기 보고 그거 배경으로 내가이나 내가 문제비 내가 저 이제 그게나 되니 알기는 진짜 뭐 좋아요. 그거 이유です. 그 시마라 그래서 그거 정보지라면 지야. 이게 되는 이유죠. 내가 싶어요.
If one guards your morality properly or purely, then as one will achieve the ultimate purpose or ultimate benefits, which is achieve the state of enlightenment. Or when one achieves the perfections of wisdom when one achieves the perfections of morality, one will achieve the state of enlightenment at the same time as well. So besides those ultimate purpose or ultimate benefit, so one will also receive the benefits of a temporary benefit, such as whatever undesirable things will be eliminated. And then if one experience those undesirable sufferings will be eliminated as well. And one will take rebirth in a good realm.
다른 그 지난 그 지역의 시비여도와 배에 상태 먼저로 요래 다만한 것도 장기도 뭐 실사에 일라 그간다 다도 좀 많이 앉아 본다는 거예요. 그래서 아무 도마 간다 rāngi gīrī kīni kīta, nēguwa tē tē jō kāntā pēmbī, pēmbī kōla wē tō wā pēmbī nīla, wā tēmbī nēn chūgī wā rē,
Tātung sungai na.
wā tātō tūngā nē,
Yang te tu mikula yang
wā yāng sī tō pēmbā lā nē wā rē sō wā, pēmbī kōla nē nē. Tē kāntā nējī chūmbā yā na, tā nējī pāchī māmbā yu wā rē wā, tā kāntā shādōng chē wā rē tō shikē chē wā, shādōng chē wā rē sō, tā tē kā tā yā mā rē sō, wā, tā shādōng chē wā na, tā sī shāng sī chūmbā yā nē wā rē, tā ngā sī chō tāpari kī wā shī, tā nī yō yī na tāpa tīndī tō wā rā, tā tīndī tē tē ngā sī tāpari shī shāng sī chūmbā lē yā yu rā, chūmbā lē yā yu rā, tā tō kē chē mō chāng rā, tā nējī tō ngā rē, ngā rī tāpari kī wā rī, shādōng shī chū rā, tā wūndā nī kā ngā rā, tāpari kī shādōng shī chū rā, tā tō tō tā kē chē mō chāng rā, tā wūndā mā nī kā rā, shādōng shī pā rī na tā tē, yā mā chē wā rā, tō tō pē kī tsā wā sā wā tē, tā kāntā mā tō bā tā, mā shī bā tā, tā wūmbā tā ngā yī, nye bā, ā rī yā bā yā tō sā pā tā yā chē tā yu sā, tā wūndā nī kā rā, yā tī sā mā yī sāng rā.
So the benefits of guarding for these vows is extensive and it is immeasurable as well. So if root downfalls occur, then one has to retake the Bodhisattva vows. So the first time when you take Bodhisattva vows, then you have to take Bodhisattva vows from a spiritual friend, and then subsequently then you can retake the vows from the Buddha, from a Buddha in front of a Buddha statue. So, and regarding the misdeeds, so misdeeds is can be easily incurred. So we must be we have to purify those negativities by confessing, by engaging in confession, by engaging in confessions with the applications of four opponent powers. Sorry. So, and then we shouldn't just, if we know that also the misdeed has already incurred, then we shouldn't just leave it aside. Then we must purify it and we must confess those faults. So, and those who have received empowerments or initiations, then also you have to do 6 sessions every day, right? So in the 6th session itself, there is a part is to take the Bodhisattva vows. And so it is important to it is important to confess and to purify our any faults that is contrary to the Bodhisattva vows. Then we must purify them, especially when we are about to sleep. Then it is important to purify our negativities by confessing those faults. Then you apply the 4 opponent powers. And so sometimes we do not notice that we have already incurred those misdeeds. So unknowingly we incurred those misdeeds, or any misdeeds that we incurred that is contrary to the vow, then we must purify them.
Oh, this is what. That's the one. So, people never say the shaman was a guru as a shaman. That was they are showing head.
Dipa.
What people start never done. Never done the shaman. And then maybe that's the never knew that. They get out of the park. You want to keep up a high chip. The thing never found out the answer. That don't check it. People the shaman. When the shadow might be right now, they never so much to do.
Then you
Oh. Scholar, I said about meaning where
so when we sleep, then we shouldn't sleep by living those negativities or misdeeds or those faults unpurified. So we must at the end of the day, when we are about to sleep, then we should dedicate the roots of virtue that we have accumulated in that day. And we also have to purify the negativities that we have accumulated, especially in that day as well. So we shouldn't sleep by living those negativities or faults unpurified.
Mishiba Tuanjigo, Magiba Tuanjigo, Yumuma Tuanjigo.
Mishiba Tanao, Nibadi.
Oh, Mishiba Peroa. A Mishiba Tuanjigo, Magiba Tuanjigo. A Yumuma Tuanjigo. Pameba. Pameba Tuanjigo. Deshidoa. A Deshida way misery. Some time with social choosing the Tumba, Tumba, Totaji Tumba. Karina, Jandu Tumba. Karina Chandam that Dishi repair. That kind of thing at Mashiba in a thing, never children.
So it's also very important to guard whatever vows that we have received. So whether it is bodhisattva vows or whether it is lay vows, individual liberation vows, or even a tantra vows, then we must be very careful with these 4 doors to transgression. So we must guard our vows against these 4 doors to transgression. So the first door is not knowing, and then the second one is not respecting, and the third one is abundant. Have lots of afflictions, and the last one is non-conscientiousness. So we must guard our vows, whatever vows that we have received. Then we must guard our vows against these 4 doors to transgression. Then the debata So when we talk about the first door to transgression, which is unknowing or not knowing, then we have to understand this door to transgression, which is unknowing, according to the context. So where this term is, which context it is applied to. So it doesn't merely refers to not knowing that the results of negativity is suffering. So it's not merely referring to that. And in this context, this not knowing or unknowing, it refers to not knowing what root downfalls it is. Like for example, if you have already received the bodhisattva vows, then not knowing what root downfall is, not knowing what 46 misdeeds are, then this is the door to transgressions, the first door to transgression, which is not knowing. And if we do not know about the nature of the vow that we have received, it also becomes the first door to transgressions as well. So after we study and we know, after we know about those vows, what these 18 root downfalls and what these 46 misdeeds are, then we have to be careful with our vows. So we have to guard our vows against those faults.
That's never touching was on. That changes about that. Judging was about the zone of Magiba General, they never say Yirwa. That pro principal. So, and Yamdo, Dani Tinge, Yamdo Tuni Tinge. That could be principal, that could be Cheva was Kata. That could be Cheva in the country, Journal, Hambuji. 저라 상보 근데 그거 마시 바이나 내 가샤 레고 다른 레고스나 그거 마시 바이나 페이지 바로 보러고 지연아 난주 때문에 차 난주 때문에 바로 그때 군소당 나제 원이 네 라니 내가 저 쉬어야다 그 두제 주는 소라 내가 해야 돼 리고 저 가샤 예 이거 전세 주미 돈을 다 받아 이거 제가 이제 비상을 좋아 다들 그래서 예 수도 lumbar china 다다 그거 친구들 다들 수도 맞아 야슈지다 차들데 그래서 저기 china 비치가 아마라 비치가 라마다 얘기가 비치가 어떻게 맞아 봐야 돼 내가 친구 이거 좀 가리네 좀 가리나 좀 받다가 이거 다
So the second law to transgressions is not respecting. So this not respecting, in general context, is also a very good advice. Is also a very precious advice for us to follow. So even this not to follow, to abandon. So that means that we have to respect others. So we have to respect others by abandoning this door to transgressions. So it is a very precious advice to follow. So even it is accordant with, even if so we have to follow this advice by respecting our parents, and the most important one is to respect our parents. If not, one will accumulate heavy negativities or heavy fault. And then we also have to respect Bodhisattva vow. Sorry, we have to respect Bodhisattva. We also have to respect our hearts as well. And then friends, among friends, then we also have to respect each other as well. So it is a very good behavior to practice or to keep. If we do not respect each other, do not respect others, do not respect our parents, then one will accumulate heavy faults, and when we see each other, then we are not going to show a good facial expression to each other, right? So we will not feel happy, and then if we fight with each other, then it will cause a danger to our life as well.
그래서 내가 계속 레고도 오기나 들려가 한다 보통도 파리나 이제 부셔져 들어와 이제 뭐지 봐이나야 또 가도 내가 상황 당시에 내가 비교로 와 되게 좋다고 한다 창나 농지를 중요하고 스스로 기질을 중요하고 이 창자를 중요하고 한다 제가 있나.
So if we do not respect others, then, like for example, in a company, then we have to respect our boss, right? So, and if we do not respect our boss, then we might get fired, right? So temporarily we will experience those temporary loss, and then even in terms of resources, in terms of wealth, in terms of the happiness, temporary happiness that we experience, if we do not respect others, then we will experience loss.
예무모 동원지 보스 되들로 거래 어떤 왜 내치기 맞서 다데 예무모 동원지 보스 스스로 예무 뭐지 그래 대체무지 무엇이 바이나 될파 답이자는 대체무지 참여를 해서 그런다 되고 답에서 그때 아토에 부로라고 제가 이래 바이나 랑카되게 내미 통다도 같이다 내미 상황도 바이나 데 아다 내모 카드 다로래 데 타원 지금 문제스 다 고도도 쉬고 아무 코드 추주실래도 뭐 코드 추주 마 오늘 단에 이 아버 뭐야 친구들아 예 이제 자다스나 스스로 이미 상황에 마 자야 나간다 하다 모습 소소도 그때 다시 와다 이제 잘라 간다 미투가 라스다 이 카드 무엇이가 되는 반대 못이야 대체로 해서고 근데 마지막에는 때 영무도 실제 전거를 내가 다 간다 만기 담아지가 그가 되기 제우로 이렇게 쇼로 So
the third law to transgressions is one has a lot of afflictions. So also we have to know the nature of those afflictions, so that we will be able to apply antidotes to counteract those afflictions. Like for example, when anger arises, then we have to immediately think about the cause of those anger, in order to counteract or in order to suppress those anger from manifesting. And then we have to apply antidotes respectively to afflictions such as to anger, to attachment, to afflictions. Then we have to practice or apply antidotes such as cultivating the perceptions of ugliness. Then we have to practice patience, etc. So if we have a lot of afflictions and we do not apply antidotes to those antidotes, then these afflictions will become more and more active or will become manifested. Then so one will not be able to suppress them, or one will even engage in those inappropriate activities due to or under the control of those afflictions. So, for example, in order to counteract attachment, then we have to apply the antidotes of generating perceptions of ugliness. And in order to counteract anger, then we have to apply the antidotes of cultivating love. And then in order to counteract ignorance, then we have to apply the antidotes of thinking about the varieties of objects of knowledge. The fourth road to transgressions is non-conscientiousness or carelessness, carelessness. So if we fall under the control of this door to transgressions, which is non-conscientiousness or carelessness, then our body, speech, and mind will not avoid doing negativities. And of course, then we will not engage in the virtuous activities as well. So most of the time, then since we do not avoid engaging in those negativities, then most of the time our body, speech, and mind will just do the negative actions. So so then one will accumulate, one will incur a lot of faults in terms of the vows that we have received. So whether you have received lay vows, or whether you have received Bodhisattva vows, or whether you have already received tantric vows. So if you have this non-conscientiousness, if you do not remove this non-conscientiousness, then one will accumulate many faults that is contrary to the vows that you have taken.
카발리아 인데도 짜지나시 아우리스 더 머리 비몽바 서파스틱 주면나시 다 대화시바 단지 전주 선바 용서도 막 파투 니비 투지 니기 줘봐서 뭐 참는데스 와 니 참는데 다비
Penguin, So if we act conscientiously, or if we act conscientiously, then we will become the example to other fortunate ones. So because of acting conscientiously, so we ourselves will become a role model or example to those fortunate fortunate ones, and then one will become a merit field through which others accumulate merits, and then one will also become a protector for beings, for sentient beings, or for types of migratory beings, and then one will also become a light that eliminates the darkness of ignorance, and also one will please Buddhas and Bodhisattvas.
Oh yeah, to be that 내가 대샤요 때 당아도 들이 다 놓치고 그다 담아들어와 그 참하게 가다 장 산지도 또 양자 밑에 뒤집다 당아도 싫으니 보다 보이나 싫으니 또 프로마티 디즈로니 픽 조합서 밑에 뒤집고 장도 보이나 그것도 때 맞아 어디야 어디야 치와 열었어 내가 맞이해 또 밑에 간다 그때 간다 Kusiyavala Jaro Chief, the Shia China. No Germany, the kitchen with the Chandaya to that. That in that they were noting also. That was magic to tell us in Chiga, John Monugi, but he should John Yujuma, Yujuma,
John Monugi, so
or that Rezuchi Mother Party John Monugi. Or is it again Bakashita to that is the John Sarva. That kitchen which I would have to touch it in the run. Kitchen which I will, that is no much huge.
Yeah, so today is the last class of the year. So I would like to encourage and exhort all of you to to reveal things that we have already gone through, we have already covered. So those things that we have learned before. So it's good to read it again. So, and for example, the Heart Sutra. So it's good to recite a Heart Sutra every day, and then to also to think about the meanings, and also we have prepared quizzes and also handouts for you, right? So if you have time, then you should study them well, so that when you read the Heart Sutra, then those meanings will appear. So you will remember those meanings when you read Heart Sutra, and you will not forget those points. So next year, we are going to start a new subject, which is tenets. So most of you, those senior ones especially, so you have already studied tenets before. So maybe those who have not studied tenets, the number of students who have not studied tenets before is very little. So however, we are going to start a new subject, tenet, next year. So I would like to encourage all of you to continue putting efforts in studying the Dharma. It is very important to study tenets, because each school of tenets they propound different views. Yeah, they have different views. So by studying tenets, or the views propounded by each school of thoughts, then we will be able to then we will have a better understanding when we read a text, or those great texts in which two points might seem contradictory. So because if we do not know about tenets, or the assertions of different school of thoughts, then it will seem contradictory, and then you will feel very weird why their way of saying seems contradictory. So you read rather we study a tenet, then we will have a better understanding when we read those great texts.
What did you tell? No, Jamal was a long day that you Sumba. Sumba doing it, you don't love it so that you're or what the Muslim to love the shape that you
love it so there.
Somebody is doing it, you don't love it so that's no Jamal given materials. The changes was a long Lina, John's drug, peace, the moment to Sarwa. Give to what my mother say, we might be the moment as well. That is a fit for the Amado Tamagi. What people go to
Yeah, so next year, then I'll say we will start Lamrim class with the third outline. After we receive it, then how to practice. So this is the topic that I'm going to talk about next year. The first topic that I'm going to talk about next year. And then I'll say Lamrim quiz, Lamrim quizzes, right? That is prepared by Sally. They are prepared by Sally. So it's good to review them as well, read them again.
Yeah, that's what the general.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you have any questions, you can ask now. Mandala Mandala Itu jiwa mina, itu jiwa yuna. Jiwa yusa mari.
That draw many days is drawing.
Yeah, so if no questions, then I will stop here. And since it is the last class of the year, then it's good to offer Thanksgiving Mandala to Kishala for his great kindness. So, give a teacher, right?
Give a normal.
Don't worry.
Give a
dear. The TJ there, another thing is
you don't down do that.
TJ or
That's because you want them to
say,
or did you want them
the need to know for you.
No,
That's all. Yeah. 这句是短的，这句短的2个 verse。在日北夜，有些美路，在日里
먼저 이게 제가 책 받을 때 예스답이 계좌대 나 간다 찌템바 집어다 로와죠 나 공사 장을 주고 최고最电子经济담아 사실 가는 수요는 때마다 누이도 붙여 이도 이제 반드시 쇼군을 제바다 타바다 런자는 거리 하바죠 저질러서 서바를 붙이 줘 간다 때마다 누이도 붙여 이도 되지 반드시 쇼군을 제바다 나 가는 자리 이도 끼라 엄마도다 니야라서 봐서 마요 예 다 생지 체는 대체는 대고 토면에서 디바탄의 상지지 공부가 유도 돼야다 다 네번 양타다 로바드스 잠말아 간다 로바치니 다 멤버들 내셔봐 다 배주부터는 로바치니 다 거란서 참마배 이제 로바집이 기 자와대 때 상지지 공부가 유도 돼야 되체다 내가 문제는 이제 타다봐 쇼 디치도 봐 계정에 지단 다 자리들 간다 봐 인종화시 내가 많이 봐 시대요 도스치 뭐 이렇게 자
We dedicate the roots, we conclude with dedication. We dedicate the roots of virtue that we have accumulated, especially since beginningless time, especially through these Dharma discussions. Maybe a complete cause for the Dharma to spread in all 10 directions and for sentient beings to experience and learn happiness. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to all upholders of Buddha's teachings, represented by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. For their long life, for their excellent health, and may their enlightened activities and holy wishes be accomplished instantaneously without obstacles. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue, especially to our beloved teacher, Kyosho Lama Sopa Rinpoche. May Rinpoche's live eons long, excellent health, and may Rinpoche's holy wishes and enlightened activities spread in all 10 directions and accomplished instantaneously. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to the world peace, and may excellent happiness prevails throughout the whole world. May wars, conflicts, pandemic, and disaster be pacified immediately. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to those who pass away, especially those who pass away because of wars, conflicts, pandemic, disaster. May their negativities be pacified immediately and quickly achieve the state of enlightenment. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to those who suffer because of those wars, conflict, and etc. May they quickly be freed from their sufferings and achieve the state of enlightenment as soon as possible. We also dedicate these roots of virtue to those who help others, such as doctors, nurses, and those who help others financially. May their roots of virtue of benefiting others be a complete cause for them to achieve the state of enlightenment as soon as possible, and may their undesirable events be pacified immediately.
Sabe gewa di tendang jowa kun la kan bendang kiwa jisun lo san dawa yi tenpe nimbo rindu se je sho janchu sem jo rinpo je ma ke pandang ke kyu ji nyamba me ba yang kone kondo pe wa sho jambe ba we ji da ken ba dang kondo sampo de yang de shin de da kun ge che so da lo je di da tang je rab do mo tong ye da wa rinpo je ma ke pandang ke kyu ji ke ba nyamba me ba yang kone kondo pe wa sho Rinye tawa rinpoche, nana ke kyuji ke ba nyamba me ba yang kone kondo me wa sho, tutsu changshen jangwe ke we den, zingyong be we kunsu tobo se, uwe le mun tu chu ba ta su tu she kondo shab den sho, tong ye nik che sung tu chu be lang chi che se se kan che chen du ge, be mo ten sing kya so la so wa de so chen den lun ru sho, tong ye kan de ben de ma lu ba, kan le chong we sam pe yi shin no, ka ting su me ten sing kya so la, so wa de so tu she lun ru sho, kan ri ra we ko we shin kan de, 我马律中为你今日希望等真告诉一下被世界把都 Thank you.
We are thank you.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you.
And on behalf of all the students, we would like to offer the Dharma wheel for Geshe-la and hope Geshe-la to have good health and long life and continue to turn the wheel of Dharma until samsara ends.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Geshe-la.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you.
Thank you.